higher vibrations, and so are you. My apologies for the delay today. We had some weird stuff all across the board. All of us are having some crazy cool things happening. Oh my goodness. Um, a lot of really fun and cleaning, cleansing, correcting. Correcting is not even the right word, but energies that have been coming through the past 3 days, I would say, probably longer, but this is what it's been the most amplified. Anyway, I'm delayed because my computer decided that it wanted to update, even though I didn't say it could. Hello, Carmen, you're first. Hello, I'll put you up there. Thank you for always coming and being so consistent, Carmen. Teresa, hello, welcome. It's been a really fun and energetic couple of days. Some of us can use different adjectives and descriptors for how this past couple of days have been. Um, let's get into it a bit. So um, I'm going to talk about some of the stuff that I've been going through, and then I'm going to, as people comment, then I will highlight what you've said too. Um, Hello, spiritual warrior. So happy to see you. Leah's here. Hi, sweetie. Hello, everyone. She says, and I clicked on Kylie. I'm trying to do it in order. I'm sorry. What's up with all these crazy physical symptoms? Anybody else having gastro issues? Let's talk about this. The grand purging has begun, or I don't know, begun's the right word. There's been a lot of stuff that people have been purging. I've been hearing some pretty fun hey, it's 12:12 descriptors of this experience, but oh, hi, Stacy. I sent you a message on Telegram. I hope that you see it. Um, um, so the best way to describe it is a lot of people are having a sensation that's similar to IBS. Your body's just purging. This is something that a lot of us have been having on and off for some time, but right now, yeah, I'm seeing another one. Jeanette says, or Janet, I'm sorry, energetic. Energetic massive gastro purge. Love you. Yes. So many. And then we got somebody else, Stacy, saying constant peeing. Yeah. Okay, good. I'm glad you got the message. Thank you. There's just so much of this. And it's not just this. A lot of us are having this sinus draining. This is part of this purge. It's so crazy because the screen behind me is green. Whoa. That was funny because I was going to talk about making myself disappear, and that was okay. All right, spirit's hilarious. It's so good to laugh, So we're that's funny. So we're having this sinus purge, and this is fun because we're understanding some of its activation. It's causing us to cough. And as we cough, oh, sorry, Stacy, I should take your comment off of there. I got really distracted by this. Yeah, the energies that are coming in are so happy and so lovely and so peaceful. Okay, so as we purge these physical parts. So, like we're talking about, going to the bathroom a lot, whatever it is, however, I know I even went through a period where I'd wake up like with morning sickness almost, like and this just purge stuff that's been happening, and once we activate through this physical way enough, not to suggest in any way to inspire this type of purge. However, so then we start to realize that we're purging in every, so as above, so below, right? And we're finding that we're amplifying or enlisting more of our spiritual hygiene kind of stuff, remembering to pull energies, to pull back into your energy, empty yourself out. I had my hair is so crazy today. I had this emptying out thing that was assisted for me over the past couple of days, but it was the peak of it was last night. I want to point something out. This is an important message, is that there's right now, and I've already said this a few times, but for those of you who haven't listened or heard it, is that right now what we're doing, the work that you're doing, this isn't something, a lot of us will say we'll do it tomorrow, we'll do it next week. Right now is the time to do it. And this isn't a warning or anything. It's just because right now you're planting the seeds. You're, you know, this is what you will reap in 2 weeks. Like what you're doing the work for is to prepare you and to make you ready. To make ready is how they say it. There's no you in the middle of it. I added that, to make ready. And so just remembering what you're doing right now. And that's why it feels so uncomfortable and whoa, is that so much of this stuff that's coming in is it's pulling the hairs, right? And we're finding some of this stuff, we're a lot of us, those people that want to just pull the band-aid all in one go. And a lot of these things, the way that it's tangled or intertwined in some way, it has to be one hair at a time, some of it. And that can be um, um, against what we are wanting to do. And so we'll find that there's some type of resistance to just knowing this is happening globally. There's many different energies that are assisting people who they're most familiar with, energies that um that bring them calm. And that's really what's being brought in for you right now, is to remember how safe and secure you really are. That all of these insecurities are illusions. They're not real. And so we're in this awesome time right now. Oh, hello, Elsa. It's so good to see you. Good morning. It's very early there. I also saw, I'm seeing so many of you here. Thank you all for joining me today. I love you. I'm going to highlight what Elsa just said. It's just talking about the eclipse. Yes, yes. Join into the eclipse energies. Cosmos has your back, tapping back into it. There's a lot of code there for me. Thank you, Elsa. That's really interesting. Thank you. Yeah. That's really cool. So then this is true. This is exactly true. My hair, is that all of this stuff. Okay, as an example, Kylie, she just said, "How's the dizziness? Is it getting better or is it getting any better for you?" So this dizziness is an example. When the dizziness starts to come in, it's like, "Oh, cool, we're going on a ride," because that's this frequency I'm finding, and and as soon as it's contrary of a lot of the stuff that I've been doing the past couple of days and well, a little while now, but just I've not had words. I've been in it. Like it's like I've been part here and part there. Like I didn't know. And so but what when you lean into the dizziness, when you're like, I give myself over to it. Like I'm not gonna fight it. I'm just gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna be dizzy. Like and embrace it, but not like this is how I'm gonna cope. This is it, instead I'm trying to say it's like saying um I'm going to embrace and go as dizzy as I can, kind of in the moment, just in your head, not to do anything on the outside. And when we do that, then this realignment starts happening inside of us, like an actual realignment. Like you can see and feel it. At least I've been able to see and feel it. And other people have reported the same thing. Okay, so I'm highlighting this so we can um, utilize this energy for your the best that you can, which is you know all. And it's not just the dizziness. The other examples are the one that I found myself investing in recently is the sadness. And again, like I said with Elsa the other day, I haven't felt sad in so long. And when sadness came, I was really confused, and once I just, oh yeah, you gotta lean into it and feel it. Once I did that, I was like, wow, this is really a bizarre thing, being sad and being able to be part of the experience. And then a lot of cool stuff started happening, you know and so just keeping that in mind. A lot of these things we try to, yeah, honor it. Who was that? There you go, Jeanette. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Janet. I try to say people's name correctly. We had a couple of other comments that I didn't want to skip, so we're going to go back up and down and try to catch people. Pressure moving around. Therese says pressure moving around, sometimes in the neck, sometimes in the chest or spine, sometimes in head, in head or in stomach. Yeah. So yes, I'm also finding, so this, you said in head or in stomach. So for me, a lot of the activation's been right here. And um there's been a lot when I had too many energies and I was interacting with too many energies. I found it to feel very unpleasant, um and bringing in some. However, it also brought up some ancient, for this Pamela lifetime, some old stuff that I forgot or didn't realize was there, because it's dusting that we're doing now, when before we were kind of moving the furniture. So it's not it wasn't as noticeable. Lots of heart palpitations going on. I want to kind of go through all these areas. Lots of extra heart palpitations. Wow, a lot of reports of anxieties and fears, just like, whoa, this is stuff coming up to go out. And if we let ourselves lean into it, this is how it works, okay? If you're leaning into an experience that's coming in that's contrary to what you enjoy, um that's also goes against what you want to do in the moment. However, if you when we lean into it, then it can move through it. I found it turns out it moves through. So this is the front of your body. It moves through this way. It doesn't want to go this way, and through the back of your head is where all the good stuff comes in, right? And so, hey, it's 12:22, 222. And a minute ago I saw the parrot. Anyway, um and so let yourself take it in and let it go out. And I'm finding a lot of times in these, I'm one of those people who meditate sitting up. I liked that. That's just, I don't know, probably because that's how I learned or something. I do sometimes laying down, but very, very infrequently. However, this particular type of thing, I'm finding that it's most useful to do laying down. I don't know if that's just because it's the Pamela logic that comes in, that feels like then the energies can go into Gaia, into Mother Earth. I don't know. That's just another helpful hint for any of this stuff. It's the physical sensations, it's the emotional stuff. All of these things, we say they're coming up, and they are, but it's backwards. So just to keep that in mind. Viv, hello, good to see you. Welcome. I saw Jackie too. I didn't mean to skip you, Jackie. But okay, so we have some other eye stuff. I'm gonna cough for a second. Excuse me. I'm having this same, wow, I just glitched while I coughed. That's kind of funny. Crusty eyes and migraines. So I've been having what I would call a migraine if it was longer lasting. Like they're like, bzz, and it's like right there and it goes through. I'm actually having the same sensations on different parts of my arms and legs. I'm finding some, and it's like, it feels like something that's helping. Like it feels like some type of technology that's engaging with me, whether it be on this actual physical body or a different body that's connected to this body that's me, but I don't, yeah, something. Anyway, the migraines I'm finding to be hugely activating. And then the crusty eye stuff, let's talk about that. And I started getting it again on this eye recently. This eye's been kind of bothering me a little bit. Um, every time so far that this has happened, there's like a film that comes off or something. Um, I've noticed that I can see things more. I can, like, I'm able to interpret what's energetically what's in front of me easier, or have a new vocabulary, I guess is another way of saying it. A better understanding of what's occurring. So one of the other things too is that, so then vision seemed to be blurry, and I don't have a prescription for my eyes. I don't use contact lenses or anything like that. And um I'm like, well, maybe it's time. Maybe I'm that age, right? So I go to see the doctor, and they're like, you have amazing vision, and um, so it wasn't that I was losing sight, but things were blurry, and I'm glitching out again anyway. And then I realized and saw what was occurring is these things I was seeing, I didn't know were there before, kind of like what my arm looks like right now, where it's like fading in and out of visible range. And so what I discovered, what was actually occurring is, so we always think we ascend like this. Like, ascending is, it's not really a directional thing, but this is what we use to explain it. And so we think we're ascending like this when we're actually ascending like this. Like it's more, and you're not actually losing any progress when you dip either. Like our buddy Scott says, you got to bend your knees to jump. So a lot of us go, whoa, it's dense. Wow, it's so cool. Whoa, it's dense kind of stuff, right? Um, and so this thing, whatever it is that you're starting to bring into your visual range that's getting blurry or whatever, it's vibrating up here. Let's say we're vibrating here and we're going up like this, right? We're touching within the visual range. There's always a faded place. That's how spirit, I've noticed anyway, for me, my spirit experience works, is there's the thing, and then there's like, and then it gets less and less easy to see it before it becomes out of visual range. Um, and so that's what we're doing, a lot of us. When this eyesight seems out of focus, blurry, having a hard time seeing things. So that's something to keep in mind and to know. And so Vegan Vixen, it's your 65th birthday. Where are you? There we are. Let's put you up there. Happy birthday, Vegan Vixen. I love you. Wow. Well, what a time to celebrate a birth, huh? A life. There's, we're right in the middle of all the best parts right now. Like in this part of the story, this is like the part where everybody stops chewing their popcorn and goes, like this is the cool part, so wow. Well, happy birthday, sweetheart. I love you. We have another comment over here from Trina saying kaleidoscope vision, migraines, dizziness, total body vibration, lots of bathroom purging, nausea. I always say it wrong. And I was even in the medical field at one point for a little while. Wow, everything just glitched out. Can you guys see me? Hey, if you can't see me, let me know. I'm going to keep talking as if you're here, though. So she talked about kaleidoscope vision, and for me, that's got a lot to do with having. Okay, so what spirit does is they always put things in front of things to show you that they go together, and so a lot of us. Okay, you can see me. Good. Thank you. This is really weird. um Thank you all for telling me. Okay, and so they always put something in front of something to make it so you can see that it goes together, so that it's the same thing, or that it's useful to put them together as the puzzle pieces they are, or something like that. And for me, it looks like this: the kaleidoscopy, and I've been getting a lot of it the past, I would say 3 days. So there was a for me there was a huge, huge activation that started on Thursday on this side of the hemisphere. Uh, uh, let's find out what day that was. That was the day before Friday the 13th. Okay. And then it's been unraveling, unfolding further since then. And this particular it started, actually, wasn't it Tuesday? What day is it? Okay, yeah, Tuesday. I haven't had any food since Tuesday. And it's not because I'm like, I'm not gonna eat. It's just that my body, so in a group thing that we were doing, something happened inside the planet. And I don't often repeat these types of things because have been operating in a lack of self-trust. And just, if I don't have any proof, like, you don't say it until someone else says it, kind of thing. Um, However, someone did say it after I had opened up, and there was a burst of beautiful white light, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant white light that burst from the center of the earth in our meeting. And um, more than me felt it and saw it. I interpreted it as an orb. This other individual interpreted it probably more correctly as a large and mighty crystal. Um, and many in the group, even those who didn't see this, like, I think we were in the middle of a sentence when it happened. It wasn't like we were doing anything in particular. Um, is that many present in that meeting also felt it. Whether or not they saw it, they felt it. And so this was about 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Um, So like 6:30 Eastern or Central, 7:30 Eastern, and so on. It caused some type of ripple energy. We all felt it go like all through us, like a percussion wave. And then I jumped on my phone and I'm like, Schumann resonance, and then there wasn't any there. You could, like it felt like it was anyway. So then there wasn't any solar flares, anything. Anyway, so this was occurring during this time. I just kind of wanted to point that out, that this activation within Gaia started on Tuesday. And so we're not even a week past then, and it's just been picking up more and more momentum, as we're now in between the two eclipses, remembering that these eclipses activate and amplify what you already get from these. So yesterday, it's still technically in the new moon energy. So that solar eclipse is the new moon, and that's when you sow, right, and then you reap in the full moon. However, this particular full moon is also moon. This particular full moon is also an eclipse, and so it's going to be amplified, and we're going to find that we're going to be reaping. Wow, my words are a lot more amplification wise. I love you too, Jeanette. Uh, I just don't know why. I read somebody else's comment. I'm sorry. I was reading someone else's name while it was clicking over. When I click it, I can't see your name. Sorry, Vegan Vixen. I love you. I saw some other rapid rabbits. Interesting, Elsa. We had a question pop up. Here we go. Genevieve, hello, sweetie. Question. Just wondering, did anyone else have super heavy, slow energy? I think you meant energy. Let's wait. Swollen breasts yesterday. There's Elsa, I'm sure will be all binging over here with her code. There's yeah. Um, I'm just gonna say it. Uh, I've not gained any weight. In fact, I've been losing weight because all of a sudden I don't have an appetite, and I had to go and get new bras because I have a larger size now. And um it doesn't feel like it's uncomfortable swelling for me, but it's been happening for a little bit. um no, I don't have a partner. I'm not pregnant. It's just one of those things that's happening. um and so yeah. There's a lot of other people have been are heard talking about that their breasts are really hurting, that there's tenderness and this type of stuff going on. The mammary memory connection. Um, this is something that a lot of people have spoken about. And it sounds like weird, but a lot of children, even older children, are now, for some reason, over the past little bit, are talking to their parents in memory of the times when they breastfed, when they were in this close bond, where like those moments. Those of you who have children understand that the moment that you're with your child, and that is a very bonding and beautiful experience. And it's very interesting to hear, even like teenage year age children, 1, 2, 3, 4, are coming up and saying, talking about it. My own child did. It's been 8 years, and she's like, she actually said, I think I want to breastfeed again. I'm like, what? That's not a possibility. But random in my head, and then so memory, remembering that when we raise our frequencies up to this place, what happens is it looks like you're let's say that your body is a hand and it's covered in mud, and this mud is stopping you from being able to see out of your eyes because it's like a barrier. And so it's just like the sloughing off of this mud. It's like pulling that mud off, and that's kind of what we're doing as we move into the higher frequencies. We're pulling that mud off, and then we can see. We can see more things. See this way. And so in this site, see, it's not simply sight, being able to visually. It's also being able to take these energies in. We already have these energies moving through us. It's simply noticing that they're there and interacting with them. And so I don't know how to describe it. So we have another comment from Elsa about this. Getting younger, classic, more memory glands. Cute, Pamela. Yeah. Um, so and there's a lot of symbols here. Thank you for this, bringing this up, Genevieve, that's going to be uncovered more, I think. And so over the next little while, however, remembering this link and being able to get to this part where you remember, you have your memory, and the thing about the wells and the three wells and the will and all this stuff is all meant to explain that we're just kind of coming into the middle for to understand it a little bit. Oh, wow. I love this space, says Path 88. Hello. Thank you for coming. Thank you all for sharing. Just knowing we are all experiencing this helps me know I'm not alone. You're not alone. You're not. Yeah. Thank you for saying that. You know, that's why I'm doing this is, you know, how long I thought I was alone. Like I really did. Like a full on, um, the way that my life path was going to work was there was going to be another lifetime before this happened, and then I chose to stick around instead. And so there's been a misunderstanding of things. So for a while of most of my life, I thought that this was the one where I did it alone, and then I didn't die. um so now we're finding each other. We're finding out we're there's people all over the planet. Some of them are your next door neighbors. Some of them are the baggers at the grocery store, or they're everywhere, and everyone's coming forward now. And we get to find out that we're not going through this alone, and that there's also ways to understand what it is that's happening, and also guidance that can be taken in to allow us to um, metabolize the energy and the things that are happening a little bit easier. So, you know, um, there's so many crazy, weird physical sensations and symptoms that we've been ignoring or assigning a different name for a long time. And there are things that, aren't in that category, at least at this particular um octave that you're, or I mean stair that you're on. It's all melodic. Um and so um you know as we move up those steps, we can look back and see sometimes in our lifetime that when we had been diagnosed or accepted that maybe we had some other thing going on, that maybe some of those things were ascension symptoms, that they were our bodies um, evolving. I had something that's coming in that I'm trying to understand about the appendix. Like I always thought that the appendix was something that was leaving our evolution, but I think that I got it backwards, which is really fascinating. Daisy says, hello, Daisy. I've been healing so much parts of myself, very overwhelming, but needed to step into my new spiritual evolution. Good job. It's hard to do sometimes. 111 people watching between YouTube and Facebook. Um, there's to heal self. I find it to be a little bit more difficult, only because um, I want to heal everybody else. And I found out when I started to find out that when I healed myself, that I healed others, was when I started to do that with more intention. Like I'd been doing it, I'd been doing it since the very beginning. If you look back at it, all of us have. It's simply that before it wasn't as I wasn't as devoted because it was just me. And then um that's why for me, I don't know how many of you know this part of my story, but that's why for me that most of my um 20s and early 30s I was pushing the snooze button. Like I was just not looking at any of this stuff that we're talking about openly these days the best that I could. I was ignoring it, and then I became pregnant. And um having such a remarkable soul sharing a space with me, um, said, "We're pulling those freaking blankets off. You're getting out of bed and you're going down the road right now." And so 2013 was really where I started to be here with you guys. Um, when everything else was about getting away from everybody. So I had another point that I wanted to make somehow, somewhere, but I didn't. I forgot what. Hi, Miriam. How you doing, sweetie? So good to see you. Castor oil, says Jackie, on tender boobs. It really helps. Put some on a mini pad in your bra/sports bra. Thank you. That's good use. By the way, castor oil works for like everything. It's crazy. So there's this whole thing in my area here that people are like selling castor oil like black market to make sure it's like the purest, most organic or whatever. You know, if you can get organic, Amazon works. It doesn't have to be some secret society castor oil. However, this stuff works great. I actually have a really close friend of mine that lives up the road or down the road. Yeah, down. Um, and she's on this journey with us too. Had produced or had been diagnosed with a variety of different kinds of body cancer, and she was in the in between part of it before, anyway. So she just pulled a bunch of castor oil on her body at different areas. She put it on the back of her neck while she laid flat. She put it on her belly and her belly button and let it kind of like a little pool sit there forever. She just did it all over her body like this. And then a month later she went back in and they it was gone. Like it was gone completely. And she did energy work at the same time, remembering that when we're using something, anything, even water, I do it with water every time, in fact. Um, saying things to the water creates holy water, right? Um, and you can do the same for food, for anything. And by voicing, by declaring your intention, more times the better. You change the frequency of that to it needs to know what job it's here to do, right? And also there's a consent thing that happens and all this stuff. So just working with the energy by saying, this is what I'm taking, and thank you. Thank you for clearing all things that don't serve me. Thank you for um, assisting my ability to self-heal. Just these kinds of words, and then let it do it. Let it do its job. I got to cough again. Excuse me. I'm going to be so happy when this stops because this is getting annoying. Okay. Um, and then Genevieve, thank you for being so specific, Jackie. Castor oil has been coming up, but I was not knowing why. So, wow, truly thankful for your clarity. Yeah, thank you very much. Castor oil in castor oil packs got brought up here. I've heard about these. I've not done this, but this is, from what I understand, because I asked somebody about it, and it's the same concept as my friend did, except you don't have to do a pool of it. It's just like it holds it to that side of your body while it's healing and doing it, and so you don't have to worry about like you can be more you can emulate or you can move. Ooh, casters, too funny, black market, witchies one, too funny. I love you. It's so fun being in this energy with all of you. Like this is a fun, like I'm so excited for when we all get together in the physical. It's going to be so cool. Let's see. I'll catch up from the bottom here, and I think I've been. Oh! Before I forget, also, grapeseed oil, grapefruit seed oil is something that has been a thing, like having to do. I actually don't remember what it's supposed to do, but there's something here about this because it comes up whenever I see castor oil, and it did again. It's like in partnership somehow they're amplified. I don't know what kind of partnership, because as far as I know, the grapefruit seed oil, it's ingested orally as far as I know. So I don't know. All right, so here we go. Patriot Hero, hello. Pamela, I know you are mainly talking about symptoms, but do you have any information or feelings on the financial reset coming? Yeah, I do. We've been moving away and moving into a different energy with this for a little while. This is meant to be as gradual as possible. Um, I kind of feel like most of us won't even really notice by the time that, and that's not to say that it's happening down the road too far either. It's just that it's like By the time that something is ready to leave, people don't even notice it's there. Is how it's what's they're showing. There'll be a group though. Um, I've been shown it, and they're calling them the first waivers. The first waivers, and so these first waivers are the ones that are like that. I think that were born up until 1969, 1967. I don't know for sure. Dolores Cannon, the three waves of volunteers. You can find out for sure what that age group is, but this particular group, the only reason that there's a thing is because there's um many of these individuals don't know that they're going to be fine, and have been brought up in this world, just as we all have. That just been doing it a little bit longer, so they're more used to a way of things being, and so there's a panic, and that's what I'm talking about. Nothing bad will happen to anybody. It's just that feeling that they are going to be in. They're gonna have some of these individuals will take a minute to become reassured and know that it doesn't matter that their ATM card's not working, that everything is truly free. Um, the outages and the resets started um, before I noticed it, as I can say that for sure. Okay, but when I noticed it, I asked, and that was 2017 when I asked. And they were like, "Oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Remember this stuff?" And they showed me some of the I've been seeing a little bit here and there just because I've been interacting with certain energies that, um, and they had their own history and their own thing. And so, um, something, okay, if you want to pull up a plant and it's been there a really long time, it's not been cared for by any, gardener kind of means. Um, and now it's time for it to move. You want to take the whole thing. You don't want to take just the top, right? And if it's well established, you'll find that some of these mighty vast, thick, even roots um, go over and through and around pipes and other structures that you don't want to interfere with, and they also go very deep. And so there's a slow nudging, and also there's this motion of up and down. Like you pull it up and then you kind of like let it rest into itself so it can pull it up. And that's kind of the visual I'm getting for it. And so this has been what's occurring. This started for sure a while ago. And so now fast forward, here we are all these years later, and now we're starting to really notice it globally. It's this uninvestment of the system of the enslaved masses, which has been an illusion that we've just all agreed to. It's so crazy how it works. Um, is done. It is done. It's already been done. It's simply every one of us, everybody, um, just realizing that. Once we actually look around and realize that there's nobody actually running the show, um, then it's just going to be, oh, well, what do you really want to do? Like I was talking about yesterday. The first time I lived alone, finally, I was all those years later. I'm like, I'm getting a hammock. I didn't like sleeping in a hammock, but you know what? I could do whatever I wanted. So I went through this period, just like all of us do, and then you kind of stabilize and you're like, okay, so what do I really want to do now? And so this kind of thing is going to happen a little bit, after during the most noticeable parts of the reset, and it's going to be funny. Anyway, I talked on that topic a little bit longer than I meant to. So we have Jackie that she says, yep, panic, laugh out loud. Just keep telling me you're going to be okay, Jackie. You're going to be okay, Jackie. This has been super challenging. First waiver here. Hi, Jackie. You are a first waiver. I love you. There's been an increased ascension symptom in this group too, this first waiver group. Just especially the past couple of days. I've been doing my own purging. It's kind of like not it's just realizing how much you've collected, not seeing how much you'd collected. And I've been getting I haven't been that great at responding to everyone's emails, and I really have started to really try, like, for real, like, super try. I love you all so much, and I do read every email. It's just as soon as I'm done reading it, my kiddo comes in and the time that I wanna have for all of you, and in person, and it's gonna be so much easier to do this. I'm so looking forward to that. Those of you who are coming to Houston, and those who can't, we'll see each other another time, but I'm really looking forward to this gathering and being with each other and being in this place where we can have these communications easier. But a lot of the emails I'd been getting before I go to this next question um, have been about violent shaking, um, just nausea due to this almost nervous stomach feeling, lots of anxiety, sadness, um, neck, headache, back, um, really intense, or not intense, but a high frequency of reports of hip and knee, especially on the right side of the body. I've been having this weird thing where these two fingers are shaking, like they're like a nervous, like it's like a neurological thing where it's not doing it right now, but it's just like it's like real. How we have that on the eyebrow? Remember it did that, and then went from this eyebrow to this one after a few days or weeks, and then it was the underneath the eye, and then it went to the mouth, and then you're really getting frustrated, and then it went back, and now I'm having it here. For some reason, these two fingers. I don't know what that's about. I don't do anything with extenuating or whatever. I don't put a lot of. I don't know. Anyway, so this is something a lot of us are having, and then the first waivers, you're just seeing more of it, a more intensified version of it. Um, the gastrointestinal kind of stuff has really peaked. A lot of women have told me that they've found that they're not able to leave the house right now because they need to be so closely located to the bathroom. Um, just I know for me, what my biggest thing have really noticing a lot of is this cotton mouth. I'm just so thirsty, and it just really just want more and more and more liquid. So, um, this is something that so you're not alone. And I actually have a window of time this evening. I've made a window of time to make a video, of Ascension Symptom video, so I'm not gonna edit it, so I can just get it out there, and so I'm just like I did the last one, I think I did that way, just put it out there. I'll have it posted at least by tomorrow. I don't know how based on the fact that the elders are coming to me so far 3 nights in a row, um, I don't know what tonight's gonna be like. I can tell you, I'm gonna record a video before it's too late, and I'm gonna post it, and so you'll get it. Anyway, um, Christina says, I saw a thank you over here. Can you speak about how we can learn to communicate with the body to give it what it needs as it goes through this frequency adjustment? That's a really good question. Thank you so much. So, there's a lot of different things that people do. There's the most common people will talk about is the lean test when it comes to food. So, this is we're going to talk about food for just a second here because this is a very important part of listening to your body because um, I would say that's where I started my interactions or my real communication with my body was when I started to listen to what it did and didn't want food wise. Um, much of my life, I used to call myself all the time, and I this is not meant as derogatory toward anybody. I find this to be a playful, happy, funny thing, but I always used to call myself a fry whore. Like I would fast food, and I was really into the fries, and my body did not like them. Still doesn't like them. I don't make it do it anymore. What I used to do is I would just have antacids, like those pills that you take when your body's like, I don't like this food. You're just like, you're gonna take it. Um, and so I started to listen instead of covering it up. I stopped making it do the things it didn't want to do. Um, with this journey, I also acknowledge the fact that my entire life, I've never enjoyed breakfast ever. I've never, ever, ever breakfast. It felt gross to eat it. And then throughout, hours after, I was just half mast. I was just sick, and then Um, I don't know why I said half mast. And so then I decided I didn't have to make myself have breakfast anymore, even though it's the healthiest meal of the day. Later on, I found out that was a cold cereal's propagandized commercial thing to get people to buy more cold cereal. Um, anyway, it turns out my body also doesn't like lunch. Sometimes it does. Sometimes I'll wake up even hungry, and on those days I'll listen to my body. Um, when I stopped with these parts, when these things were occurring, I also found that my body stopped liking certain types of meat, like ground meat in particular at first, and then it became red meat and so on and so forth. And this was my journey into being a kind of vegetarian that I am. Like right now, I'm noticing that sometimes my body's actually asking me to eat meat, and there's nothing wrong with it. I don't have a My choice in not eating it has nothing to do with my head. It's got to do with whether or not my body wants it. Um, anyway, uh, so once I developed this kind of vocabulary, then I started asking it like at the grocery store, like the lean test I brought up. So you say, hey, do you want this? And your body will lean toward it if it wants it, and away from it if it doesn't. A lot of people will do this other kind of like tap test, or there's a lot of different other ways that you can use the pendulum. you know I also find that when I interact with the food, with my physical body rather than forks and knives and spoons and stuff, that my body will tell me whether or not it wants it. And while I'm doing this, I'm also clearing the energy in the food. I'm already doing this love thing, because for me, I don't know about y'all, but when I'm cooking with love. Like, most often I'm not cooking for myself. I'll enjoy it too, but it's got to do with the person I'm preparing it to share with. And so there's a lot of love being given, and that's praying on the food. Then I also do intentional praying too, by the way. um and for me, some foods, when I hold it, my body goes, like behind my eyes. I have like a micro, like earthquake, kind of like, that means no. Everybody's nose different, probably. Um, and then if my body wants it, you'll have like the salivating glands activate, and those types of things, even though it's not. And so, and I'll do this as I'm adding ingredients to my food as well. Um, then there's other things. Once I've established this open communication, because okay, the whole point of me telling you all of this whole line, is that um, I found, I don't know about y'all, but for me, I found that my body um, was kind of mad at me, in the way of like a neglected child. Just having been neglected, there was not a trusting rapport there. That's a better way of saying it. Like, there wasn't this neglected child didn't have any trust in me. I here, like, oh wow, I'm so thirsty. Let's have a powder donut, kind of stuff I did to my body, um, and so, after it began to trust me, then I was able to have more interaction with this body that I'm in. And then the more that I did that, the more that I was able to then understand what it was trying to say too, on a deeper level. Um, and then I can ask certain things about it. Like, you can ask where you're out of alignment. You can ask a lot of different questions. Your body answers. Um, One funny side note about doing this is that I found that as I opened up this communication with my body, that I started to refer to myself as in a third person, and that got a lot of attention from the locals. So, because I'll say, "My body's hungry right now," and they're like, "You're," and because she feels not separate, but she's like in a partnership. It's not two, or it's not one any longer. If that, I don't know. So that was a really good question. I can grab one more, but I do not need to get going soon. I started a little late today because my technology was decided it wanted to update against my request of not doing so. All right. Tasha, hi. Pamela, why does there appear to be that closeness at night alone you mentioned? I find this too. Is it because in sleep we stop thinking too? I would say that, okay, there's a lot of things. Um, one of the most notable excuse me, one of the most notable is that um, most people are asleep. And so the energy frequencies that happen right now, so see all these little these beams of light, it's kind of like that, but they're like more enmeshed and tangled, that go like this all day long. It's like a really busy traffic, like, 18-lane highway kind of place that, have over bridges and all this stuff. And then as people go and sleep, then these streams don't stop. It's just they lighten and they become easier and they become less conflicting, and they're like more like a river instead. And then frequencies are easier. It's easier to get some of these frequencies coming in. And I would say that, and therefore, that's when a lot of more frequencies will come, because they're like, oh, cool. Finally, like a busy traffic, you finally can merge in. And then there's the softening of the ego at this time, for sure. The more that we can step away, have our ego step away from what's going on in front of us, the more that we can, um, everything, fill in the blank. It's really amazing. And I would say too that, often this is when we can be in a place where we're in a, more quiet with self. Often we're more alone. It's a better chance for me. I know that's the case. I find that about 11 o'clock my time is when I feel like it's the most deep and the most pure that starts to come in right now at this time. I want to point something out. Just this is useful to know. I find that the frequencies, like this nighttime stuff, changes, by season too. So, um, in the middle of summer, like 4 or 5 a.m., like, so getting up really early, we actually shift with the seasons in our schedule typically. This is the first year that we're trying not to, because now we're doing things like this and meetings and stuff. So there's actually like a stationary schedule thing that we didn't used to have in our lives. Um, However, typically we'll shift our schedule on the season. And it's been like that since she was a baby, because I didn't have to. Um, Anyway, this time of year is when we're finding that, this 4 or 5 a.m. meditation time is actually more accessible, closer to 10 or 11 at night, and starting that window that goes into 3 or 4 o'clock, and so, um, I think that has a lot to do with it too. This time that we're in right now, um, we're all getting more coming in, or we're able to understand that more is here. I don't know which. And, it can feel overwhelming. It can feel like, you know, that you don't know what's going on, or what if I can't control something, or all this what if stuff. And, um, I can tell you that as soon as I let go of control each time, that everything's easier to do. That there is, in fact, more control to be had in this place because the control is resist. And if we resist what's being given us, because you can feel it, you can feel into it with your heart. You can know that the intention is to assist you, and so knowing that, why are we resisting? You know, when the sadness comes, when the thing, whatever it is, sadness I find to be the most common, to embrace it rather than look away and cover it up and band-aid and whatever. Allow it to come in and move through. And the most bizarre part about all of that is that when I let it move through, out through me and into and through my back the way that I did, I actually found it to be rather euphoric. Like, it was like a really fun sensation, um, being in the human and being in that and letting it move through and not having to decide a thing about it. So I hope that answered your question. Um, I do need to get going. Those of you who are interested, I have this beautiful guest today in an hour. Um, her name is Jen Lee. She's amazing. She's, been part of the Sology, group for a while, I guess. I just love her energy. I got to have a conversation with her, a few weeks ago with, the transmission group. That was the one we got kicked off of social media for. Um, Anyway, so she is gonna she was on this episode, and she's gonna be my next guest. That'll be at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Central Time. And, so it'll be at the soulogynetwork.com. So I'm going to type that in and put it up on my screen before I go for anyone who is interested. So this is a really cool platform for those of you who don't know that has, it's kind of like a spiritual YouTube. It's really neat. Oh, I put the wrong one, but I love, you're welcome. I love you all. I love all the energies here. And oh, I didn't write it right. I just wrote Sology. All right, let me try again. That's what today is, I'm telling you. Okay. Can I even spell? Sology. There we go. I got a new keyboard because I spelled an entire okay, did I spell it right? I spilled an entire class glass of orange juice on my keyboard, and then I let my daughter pick it because she likes rainbows. She picked this one. You can't see it. But anyway, the buttons are like this tall. So it's like you feel like a little kid trying to type. Anyway, I love you. I got to get out of here. Hope to see you. If you don't catch us live, then you can always go back and watch the episode, the interview later on. I love you so much. You got this, guys. You got this. This is the good stuff. Remember, right now you're planting. What do you want to harvest in a couple of weeks? What do you want to harvest? Then that's what we need to focus on. And even if it seems like some things are coming in that are trying to pull us from that, focus. Allow yourself to be you. I love you.